Very tragic turn of circumstances. Avicii Tim Bergling, the Swedish DJ music producer, is no more. Passed away 3 days ago, and devastated fans, including Vinay, who's our digital producer, who's actually holding the camera if you're watching video right now. Streaming audio live across the nation on www.onecast.in, numeral 1cast.in, and online 94.3 on the FM band on your radio sets here in Mumbai City. And only if you're not driving, statutory warning. If you're in the backseat of a radio taxi, if you're being chauffeur driven, or you're at home or at the office without a radio set, we're streaming video live on facebook.com/radio1.mum, RADIOONE.mum. Two fine gentlemen in studio.
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
Fazal Qureshi, mentor to many, a musician extraordinaire, is here. Fazal bhai, great to see you. How are you doing?
Thank you. Nice to be here, Hrishi K. I mean, I'm very happy.
And old friend Danish Husain, theatre performer extraordinaire, Kissebaz. How are you, Danish?
I'm very good, thank you. Good to be back here.
Well, I know I'm set for a great day ahead when I see blokes like the two of you smiling at me. This is the 99th year of Abbaji's 99th anniversary of Abbaji's, the great Ustad Allah Rakhas. And the journey continues is what the concert is called. And this time there's a twist, Fazal bhai.
Correct.
It's not just musicians.
The twist is him.
He's a twist in the tail.
He's a twist in the tail.
Kissebaz who's a twist. Yeah, but where did the idea come from? Let's
See, the idea came in when I think we were just thinking about we were doing it in November something in Ahmedabad. And we were hoping to have him there. And then suddenly it occurred to me that I could do something taking... And Danish bhai, he has already done something for Begum Akhtar ji. Narrated her life story and had a student singing. So I thought, why not do something in this on the same scale, but sort of a little bigger for my father. Where he has done so many things at that time we are not even aware of. Like he did playback singing for Prithviraj Kapoor. He did music in films where Raj Kapoor is there and Nargis is there, and using Sargam, which is Nisagama Pani, which is as words way back in 1955. Use such things and play with drummers in the 60s, and a jazz drummer like Buddy Rich doing collaboration with South Indian musicians in those days, which was never. So I thought it would be an interesting thing to bring all these things alive with the narration by Danish bhai and create something different. That's all. The idea was to and pay tribute to him on his 99th year. Leading into the 100th year.
Leading into the centenary. Yeah. Now it's on the 29th.
29th.
Yeah.
That's his birthday. Actually.
Yeah, that's his birthday. And venue and timings, please, Fazal bhai.
Venue is St. Andrew's Auditorium, 7 p.m. And that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Now, how this works is it's 7 p.m. at St. Andrew's on the 29th. It is absolutely free of cost, but obviously there is limited seating because it is St. Andrew's Auditorium. So we request you to go on to bookmyshow.com on Thursday, which is 2 days from now, and at least block your passes. At the venue too, they can go.
Venue is also there.
Go to St. Andrew's in Bandra, easily locatable, and at least block your seats. Get those passes. You don't have to pay anything for it, and then it'll be easy for you on the 29th. So Danish, the story of Ustad Allah Rakhas Saab, what were your sources other than Fazal Qureshi?
Well, essentially, I had sit-down interviews with Fazal where I basically jotted down every word which was coming out of his mouth. And Nasreen Munni Kabir's book was a great help. Its timing was brilliant. It just came out when Fazal and I were planning to put this thing together. Her book on Ustad Zakir Husain's life, Conversations with Ustad Zakir Husain. And then during my research, I tripped on a very fascinating book by Peter Lavazzoli called The Dawn of Indian Classical Music in West. And it covers almost every great musician of India in 20th century who went and performed in the West and what influences they created. So in the process, I did not just read about Ustad Allah Rakhas, but I was also reading about Pandit Ravi Shankar and Ustad Ali Akbar Khan and Ustad Vilayat Khan and how their music was transforming West. And then there were scores of interviews of Ustad Zakir Husain. There were music reviews in Guardian, in BBC, and Rolling Stone. There were concerts. There were documentaries of Film Division, of Google interviewing Ustad Zakir Husain. So eventually, when we started digging, there was a lot of material around, and it was quite surprising that people are unaware of so much achievement that Ustad Allah Rakhas had done, and all one needed was to collate it and put it in a narration which would be effective and people would enjoy it.
Casey and the Sunshine Band, That's the Way I Like It, back with Danish Husain and Fazal Qureshi right after this. Well, I hope you like it. That's the way I like it. Fazal Qureshi, Danish Husain are in studio. It is the 99th birth anniversary of the great Ustad Allah Rakhas, also known as Abbaji to all of us very fondly, people in the music community. It's happening on the 29th at St. Andrews, and this conversation is about what is going to happen on that particular evening, and of course the legacy of this great man. So musicians in tow this time. I was there last year, and I was really thrilled to see some students, some accomplished musicians.
Absolutely.
I mean, what a wonderful opportunity for students to interact with professional musicians. I've got to say, some of your students are as good, if not better than them.
well, I hope they have been studying. We have the institute, and started by my father actually, and I'm sort of taking it forward. The journey continues actually signifies that that your his legacy, his thought process, his philosophy is alive, even though he's not with us, with the students taking it forward, and that's the thing about Indian classical music or Indian culture for that matter. I mean, it's a Guru Shishya Parampara, which is the one which plays a very important role in taking things forward. So and this time also I have the students performing also, and in fact, my thought process for this time was to get all the younger generation who are inspired by, like for instance, to play what Raviji played with my father. I got this sitar player from Calcutta who is a student of Raviji's, and so that means he's a third generation guy, and he is playing exactly like Raviji. He's got this
wow.
So people like that, and so the third generation, which is, I'm getting hold of somebody like who's singing is a younger who is a product of SRA, which is Sangeet Research Academy in Calcutta, which was started by the believe it or not, the Goldflake people. The SRA was started by them, and he's a product of that. He's also a third generation, Prashant Samadar. So he's going to sing some of Abbaji's film songs. One of them is, so I'm projecting everything that he did on the stage using younger generation. So the only established person is him. In this.
He's the only star.
He's the only star. With the star in his name also.
But that's interesting. So you're saying that the song that he sang for Prithviraj Kapoor, that'll be recreated.
No,
is that
song? I'm not recreating it, but I'm recreating the song that he composed, where, as I said, that using the notes, the saregama as words. Which was later used by the colonial cousin and all that, but it was used by him for the first time.
Of course.
He used it in 1955 in a movie called Sabak, and so I'm going to use that just to give an idea that this is what his and that has a Western kind of a blues feel to it, which is being put forward by people like Zubin. Zubin is actually part of this.
I'm going to interrupt you here. For those of you who don't know, Zubin Balaporia is a keyboard player, jingle producer, music composer, and one of the main men in Indiscreet, which is formerly Rock Machine. Takes me back to my days when I used to watch them at Rang Bhavan. But continue. Yes,
so Zubin is part of this, and Zubin is kind of creating these kind of effects, making the song a little bit more modern and presenting it to the audience. And there's one Punjabi song, because he gave film in Punjabi also, which is sung by Rafi Saab.
Wow.
So I'm recreating that with another singer who's actually a younger singer from Punjab. So to bring in a classical format by Prashant and this Harpreet, who's going to bring in the folk part and create this song and bring out the Punjab, because my father loved Punjab. For him, it was like, going back home, Anybody coming from Punjab was like, घर से आया हुआ है, तो उससे पंजाबी में शुरू हो जाते थे, डोगरी में शुरू हो जाते थे. उनका मतलब, he was living in Bombay, but his heart was there.
Did he grow up in the Punjab?
Yes, he grew up, born in Jammu, grew up in Ramgarh, which is Ratangarh, which is near Gurdaspur, and then came to Bombay, then went to Lahore, Then the family came from Jammu to Ratangarh, and then he got married. Brought my mother in the 1940 or 41, 42 when he came as a staff for All India Radio, and lived here and never went back. And his family, which consisted of his 6 brothers and a sister and his parents, actually moved during the partition from there, which was near the border, into Pakistan. Went to Lahore.
How fascinating is that? Zakir Bhai told me, Ustad Zakir Husain, that, in Shimla House, George Harrison, who was the gentlest Beatle of them all, would sit down on the floor, converse with them, play music and things like that. Is that ever going to find a place in your Kissebazi as far as Ustad Allah Rakhas is concerned?
No, not the George Harrison one, but
that's an idea for next time, Danish.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm not going to charge you any royalties on that, but that's an idea.
You
for
can't
next
charge
time.
royalty for that. But when I was researching, and I tripped on one Mickey Hart interview.
Yeah.
And Mickey Hart, as everyone would know, was the drummer for the Grateful Dead, the great rock band. And Mickey Hart says that when he first heard Allah Rakhas on an LP, he couldn't believe that one man was creating all those percussion sound. And he said, for the longest time, I kept believing that the record company has made a mistake. They have not put the other percussionist name on the cover. So he said, I would frequently go and very minutely read the cover and look under the cover. Maybe the name is there. Because he said, I just couldn't believe. And remember, this is not digital age. This is analog age. So with the music that he's hearing is being played in real time. So he could not believe that in real time a man can create so many percussion sounds. And he said it took me a long time to believe that it was one man who did all that in real time. And when he met Ustad Allah Rakhas, he said we didn't understand each other's language, but we understood the rhythm cycle. And for 4 days they were locked in a hotel in New York, and they played rhythm games. And that's where he said he really got introduced to polyrhythms, where Ustad Allah Rakhas and they would play rhythms with different cycles, but they would arrive at the sum, the one, the closing beat together. And he said that opened a world to me. And he ran back to the Grateful Dead, to his band, made the whole band play rhythm games, and that was the genesis of the iconic rock song, The 11.
Fantastic.
I mean, that was Ustad Allah Rakhas' influence.
Slice of international and Indian music history there. Okay, now an opportunity for you guys to win yourself a couple pass. Please allow us till tomorrow to get those passes to you, because they're only going to arrive with us tomorrow. And really simple question. We just have been talking about Ustad Allah Rakhas' collaboration with international artists. Who are, just name one international artist that he's collaborated with. One space the name of the artist, space your name, to 53650 on SMS. On Twitter as well as Facebook, you can go to the search bar, type HRISHIKAY, and you can give me the name of the international musician that Ustad Allah Rakhas collaborated with, along with your name. On Facebook, you post in the timeline inbox, and facebook.com/radio1.mum, official page. Bruce Springsteen, Dancing in the Dark. See you in a bit. 9:25 live with Fazal Qureshi and Danish Husain. Smash Mouth All-Star, 9:38 in the morning. Fazal Qureshi and Danish Husain are here. On the 29th is Abbaji, Ustad Allah Rakhas' 99th birth anniversary. The journey continues. A wonderful show. It's in Andrews. Entry is free, but on Thursday you have to get to Book My Show, or you get to the venue and you block your seats. You get your passes for it. Also, we're giving away some passes here so that we save you the trouble of doing all of that. We'll reach them to you. Again, please allow us till tomorrow to start dispatching them. I'd asked you a contest question saying name one international musician that Ustad Allah Rakhas collaborated with. We've got a lot of answers, but I'm going to pick Ashwin, George Harrison from the Beatles. That's interesting. Ashwin, your last 4 digits are 8101. Asim, your last 4 digits are 9129. He says Buddy Rich. And Leenata, your last 4 digits are 7083. Mickey Hart. All of them are absolutely correct. More conversation.
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
So Danish, since one of our contest winners said Buddy Rich, talk about the Buddy Rich episode in Abbaji's life.
Well, Buddy Rich, I mean, he's perhaps one of the greatest jazz influences, drumming influences in jazz music. All time, across all time. And he came in contact with Abbaji, and he was so taken in by the whole percussion thing that Abbaji was creating on tabla, and he was so taken in by both tabla and pakhavaj, the two instruments, that he eventually got down to collaborate with Abbaji, and he when they got down together to collaborate, they created an album, kind of a first percussion global fusion album, where you're hearing percussion sounds both from India and from the West on the album. And he very aptly titled the album, calling it Ustad Allah Rakhas.
Sweet. Mandatories. We're streaming audio online across the nation on www.onecast.in, numeral 1casc.in, online, 94.3 on the FM band on your radio sets, and only if you're not driving. We're now streaming video live on Instagram at HRISHIKAY. So, Fazal bhai, other musicians who we can expect to see on the 29th at St. Andrews, along with you and the students?
Yeah, so the students are there, of course, and as I mentioned, there was this Abhishek Malik, who's coming all the way from Calcutta, who's actually going to emulate and try and bring out the Ravi ji and my father, the chemistry that they sort of created on the stage when they were playing together. People like then I said about the Prashant. He's going to be he's a classical vocalist. He's going to sing my father's songs. And there is also a sarangi player, Dilshad Khan, who's the nephew of the great late Ustad Sultan Khan Sahab. And my father used to love Sultan Khan Sahab very much, and because every time he's playing a solo or something, he used to always ask, "Bhai sarangi par Sultan ko book kar lo." So he loved it very much. So I wanted to have one of the family from there also participating and taking sort of paying tribute to my father. And Dilshad I thought would be a great addition to the thing. And then I have Sridhar Parthasastri on the mridangam, emulating my father's collaboration with Palgad Mani Iyer ji and Palgad Raghu ji, who are the great percussionist, mridangist from Tamil Nadu. And they were the first people my father collaborated in the 60s, and which was, in those days there were no much sort of interaction was happening as far as the classical music was concerned between the North and South. So this was like one of those earlier ones where they came together and created. So Sridhar Parthasastri is going to do that, and then finally we all are going to, and then I also have a Western classical violinist.
Nice.
Her name is Kushmita, and she's going to emulate Bach. And she's going to play Bach, because when Yehudi Menuhin, she's actually emulating, when Yehudi Menuhin met Ravi ji and my father for a collaboration, he first wanted to impress them with his playing, and he played a Bach violin concerto by himself to give the impression that mujhe bhi kuch aata hai, kind of thing. And then they sat together and collaborated. So we're going to do a piece where Yehudi Menuhin and Ravi ji and my father collaboration would be, emulated, and Kushmita, she's a great violinist, she's going to be playing that. So
don't allow Danish only to tell all the stories. You must tell these stories on stage, before the performance happens.
मैंने सारा जिम्मा इनको दे दिया, जितने भी स्टोरीज मैंने इनको दे दिया, मैंने कहा ये आपका काम है, आप करते रहो, मैं तो सिर्फ बजाने वाला हूँ.
No, but the way you're telling it right now, it's so beautiful for the audience also.
Correct.
It's amazing.
These are the things, which great musicians do for each other. I mean, who would think that Yehudi Menuhin, who was a big name at that time, would come and play Bach in order to impress Ravi ji and my father, so that they could have a great collaboration. But this is what great musicians is all about: the humbleness, the respect for the other style, the respect for the other musicians' caliber, and the interaction. So this is what my father had with so many of these musicians, abroad as well as in India, that which I wanted to bring out, for this concert actually.
Okay, we're going to take some Sting and Shaggy, Waiting for the Break of Day, and when we come back, Danish is going to tell us about the language. He's quite the linguist, so fluent in Awadhi, in Urdu, in English, of course. And now, having lived in Mumbai for a considerable period of time, even Mumbai Hindi, so how he's going to pace this particular piece on Ustad Allah Rakhas. Waiting for the break a day, Sting and Shaggy, back in a couple of minutes. It's 9:44. I'm Hrishi K. I feel Sting has gone back to his old police sound, after having meandered as an artist through various genres. He's just gone back to the simplicity of the reggae pop that the police started off with. And incidentally, they performed in Rang Bhavan. Fazal Qureshi and myself were just reminiscing about the glory days of Rang Bhavan in 82. I don't know if he was there. I was too young. But they really rocked Mumbai's socks off. Fazal Qureshi Danish Husain in studio. It's Abbaji, Ustad Allah Rakhas 99th anniversary concert at St. Andrews on the 29th at 7 p.m. On Thursday, there will be passes up on Book My Show. It's free. But make sure you reserve your passes because it is a limited seating venue. Likewise at the venue. And also now, we've got only 2 other couple passes left to go. And here's the contest question. Now, Fazal is one of Ustad Allah Rakhas' children. Name one other famous child. It's a legendary family. One space the name of the other child of Ustad Allah Rakhas, space your name, type it and send it to 53650. 53650 is the in-studio SMS line. On Twitter as well as Facebook, you go to the search bar, you type at HRISHIKAY, I'll pop up. You could tweet out, and facebook.com/radio1.mum. You pop the answer on the timeline or inbox. Another child of Ustad Allah Rakhas, other than Fazal Qureshi's, and you and a partner could be at this wonderful concert. More conversation with these two gentlemen.
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
Only if you're not driving. We're streaming video live on Twitter and Periscope now at HRISHIKAY. So Danish, the kissa of Ustad Allah Rakhas and events of his life, what techniques are you using? What language are you using? Are you going to be seated like you normally are during your kissebazi? Or can we see some movement and, the language you're going to be filtering in and out of?
No, I'll be seated because we are a lot of musicians on the stage. And Fazal has already designed the stage. So we know exactly who's sitting where. So there would not be any movement. I would be having my quiet little stool tucked in between Fazal and the other musician from where I am.
And are you doing it at one stretch, or there are going to be pieces where you come in and
no, so it'll be narration interspersed with musical compositions.
Very nice.
So we're talking about one particular phase, let's say about his film life. So I would be talking about his film life and anecdotes from his film lives and the kind of work he created in his film life. And then Fazal would bring in the singers and have those two compositions.
Beautiful, yeah.
That's
so amazing. You thought of it this year.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
And
this was an idea that was waiting to happen. Amazing.
Yes. And then again, so then we move forward and I talk about Pandit Ravi Shankar and how they met and how they collaborated. And then Fazal gets into with the sitar player and plays that composition. So I think it just kind of it stretches out well. It gives breather between narration and musical composition to audiences, and also whatever they're hearing and whatever is being played is very relevant and connected. So it's like they're getting a little story around what are they going to hear. And I think that just makes it richer for them. So it's not just, even if someone who has never heard that composition comes there and sits there, it's not just a sitar and a tabla or a violin or a tabla playing.
In fact,
the
Raviji and Abbaji thing, we are recreating that Monterey Jazz festival, the Monterey Pop Festival they played in, where Jimi Hendrix was sitting in the audience and watching them. So we're going to play a composition from there and recreate that energy that they created on the stage of that particular concert, actually.
But the funny bit is this, that whoever I forward the poster to, please come for this concert, people say, what are you doing in this? And I say, I'm playing tabla. And Fazal's gonna talk.
Well, just to fill you guys in, the Montreux World Rock and Jazz Festival is up in the Swiss Alps, and this is mentioned in the Deep Purple song. We all came down from Montreux, which is smoke on water, and it's got a statue of Freddie Mercury, and every legendary artist in the history of international music has performed there. And we're extremely proud that Ustad Allah Rakhas and Pandit Ravi Shankar had performed there, like Fazal Bhai said, with the great Jimi Hendrix also in the audience. So I'm extremely proud of the fact that there is a future, a legacy that has been set by your dad and continued by you. And Ustad Zakir Hussain said that, saying that he doesn't have the time, he lives abroad, so it's wonderful that Fazal has taken on the mantle of instruction. How are the students doing, and what kind of curriculum have you set for them?
Well, I mean, the students, I'm getting all these students who keep coming, and they're doing well. There's always that little hitch that comes when the exams are happening or when they are but I'm very, very sort of optimistic regarding people learning tabla, and because thanks to Zakir Bhai and the aura of these artists, that the importance of tabla has come up. And my father actually very humorously used to say कि पहले तो ऐसा पीछे बैठा करते थे, बोले फिर उसके बाद आस्ते आस्ते करके आए, बोले वो उतना सा वो सफर तय करने में 40 साल लग गया मुझे कि अब जो है लोग सुन रहे हैं and they want to listen and they want to know who's playing tabla, and they are coming in large numbers. And 9 साल का लड़का, 10 साल का एक लड़का आता है कल्याण से, अपने फादर उसको लेके आते हैं. He's also going to be there on the stage, reciting. So there's so much of interest, and I'm very, very optimistic.
Where do you teach, Fazal Bhai? Where is the institute?
The institute is at Shivaji Park. Okay. At the Shivaji Park swimming pool, started by my father way back in 1985 at the same venue, and so I'm continuing in the same venue, and we're happy. And the BMC has given us this place.
That's nice.
And we are continuing. And
do you go there every day or twice a week, or do you have enough teachers who are helping you?
No, yes, I have my students who are helping me, but I go there literally every day. I mean, when I'm here, I mean, except for Monday, which is closed on that day. The area is closed on that day. So, and I go every day whenever I'm in town. And if I'm not in town, the class is on. One of my students takes it, but the same curriculum is on. Whatever I have taught is been. So if I'm teaching or the student teaching, it's the same thing actually happening, because I've already created that syllabus. So they just take it from there and give it to the student.
Okay. And how can anybody enroll? Is there a website?
There is a website. Ustad Allah Rakhas Institute of Music website is there.
Go soft.
Ustad Allah Rakhas Institute of Music.
Institute of Music. Yeah, search for that on Google.
www.uaim.com.
Great.
So you can. There is a form in that, but they can also come to the class anytime
and directly come to
Shivaji Park and pick up the form.
What is the building called?
It's called the Mahatma Gandhi Swimming Pool.
The Mahatma Gandhi Swimming Pool. So just go directly to the class too, and enroll. Amazing.
Correct.
Great. Okay, we're going to come back and do a last leg of a conversation because we've already reached the 9:54 mark. I'm going to announce 2 other winners and then say bye-bye to Fazal Qureshi and Danish Husain. I'm Hrishi K. Messages and back.
94.3 Radio 1.
Gwen Stefani, Hollaback Girl. Last 2 winners, and I'm going to pick them from Twitter. Samir Chadda, many congratulations. Ustad Zakir Husain. The question is really simple. I said name another son, a child of Ustad Allah Rakhas, and you're not allowed to say Fazal Qureshi. And Pooja Punjabi says Ustad Zakir Husain and Tawfiq Qureshi. So Pooja Punjabi, you win a couple pass. Samir Chadda, you win a couple pass. And the earlier 3 SMS winners I have already announced. So you're going to get in touch. Crystal from Radio 1 Contest will get in touch with you tomorrow when the passes reach us. So please expect the passes by day after, which is Thursday. Yeah. The previous winners, Ashwin, Asim and Leenata. So those are our 5 couple passes. A last leg of conversation with Danish Husain and Fazal Qureshi.
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishi K.
Radio 1.
On the 29th at St. Andrews, fret not if you haven't won this contest. You can go to Book My Show on Thursday and block your passes. They're absolutely free, or go to the venue and block your passes. Just that it's a limited seating venue, so we need to know how many people are coming in. Fazal Bhai, there are a couple of musicians you haven't mentioned as yet. Talk to me about it.
I like to mention Andrew Kanga, who's going to play the drums, and he's a student of Gino Banks, and he is going to emulate Buddy Rich. So as I said, I've got hold of these people who have their mentors in like Ravi Ji and my father and Buddy Rich. So we create an old jazz piece in which he's going to play the old Buddy Rich style, where I'll also be joining him, creating that little combination of my father and Buddy Rich together. And of course, Fazal Hussain, my nephew, he's also going to be playing, and I want to recreate that planet drum thing with which Vikuji and Zakir Bhai and Mickey Hart and all of them got together. So in which Andrew Kanga would be there, me, then Sridhar Parthasarthi, and Faizan will join in with the little djembe and all that to create that what he was talking about, how Mickey Hart was influenced by Abbaji and created this planet drum, which became the first percussion album to receive a Grammy Award actually. In which Vikuji was there, Zakir Bhai was there and all that. So we're going to create that. So all this is going to happen.
Beautiful. Danish, what to you is the most significant, most poignant, most memorable part of your performance? Just to tease the audience to get into St. Andrews on Sunday.
Well, I never really thought about my performance, but I think the most significant and poignant part while I was doing the research was Abbaji's personality. He was so humble and so transparent and so open-hearted, and everything sat so lightly on him that it was incredible that a man can walk around with so much on his shoulders and yet be absolutely free of it. And the other thing that I really loved about Abbaji was his subtle humor. I mean, you thought he's a quiet man and he keeps to himself and he doesn't really say much, but once in a while he would throw some mind-boggling thing and you would just crack up and you would just laugh at his humor. So that's what my intention has been in creating the narrative, that when I present the story of his life, I bring the man alive, and I want to bring the man alive along with the humor that he had. And I think the most exciting part of the concert would be, of the storytelling session, would be the humor part of it and how Abbaji just lighted the world around him. And I think people would be just delighted by this clean, absolutely heart-touching humor that Abbaji had. And I'm going to bring that alive in the stories that I'm presenting on the stage.
Lovely. Fazal bhai, it's wonderful to see you.
Thank you. Wonderful to see you, Hrishi K.
God bless you. Danish, yeah, see you guys on Sunday actually.
Yes,
absolutely. We are looking forward
to seeing you.
Wonderful. Rock set, The Look. Up ahead, journalist Priyanka Sinha Jha on the telephone line.